of Kyle Clausen, Nick Kruger,
Jason Regnis,
Riddell Olive, Ashley Shepard.
Faggot, fudge packer, botsy boy. How many of you have used these slurs to describe homosexuals before? Well, I have, and I'm not happy about it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or just gentlemen, because there's no ladies in here. Have you ever been discriminated against for something you had no control over? Well, I have. Being an African American living in the United States of America, or simply an American serving this country overseas in Iraq, Kuwait, England, Germany, I have experienced discrimination. And I know the toll that it can take on someone. Since the gay rights movement of the 1950s, homosexuals have been discriminated against. They're long overdue for equal rights under all aspects of the law. I'm here to persuade you to stop the discrimination against the gay community and rally for the legal recognition of same-sex marriage, which is also called marriage equality, under the law in all 50 states. Some topics we'll go over are whether or not the gay community is getting a fair handshake, the effects of discrimination against homosexuals, and simply minding our own damn business. You know what I'm talking about? Why don't we look and see why homosexuals aren't treated fairly to this day? Visual aid for y'all. Homosexuality has been frowned upon in society and media. Homosexuality was classified as a mental illness by the American Psychiatric Association up until 1973. This can be validated by looking at www.newyorktimes.com. By originally classifying homosexuality as such, the American Psychiatric Association left the gay community with a negative connotation which still exists today. Most fathers try to raise their sons as alpha males, geared toward football and other violent sports. While okay for infants, toddlers, and young children, this leaves no gray area for unisex activities later on in life. I played football, I played basketball as my dad wanted me to do, but hey, maybe I'd be the best tennis player in the world. I don't know. I like tennis, but I was scared to get beat up or called a fag or teased in school, so I never took ballet or, you know what I'm saying, male cheerleading or anything like that. This upbringing causes confusion in the male if he's interested in activities that go against the grain. From rock to pop to hip hop, expectations and slurs are thrown in to degrade homosexuals. 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying was the best-selling album of 2003, sold 6.5 million copies. This can be validated by looking at www.billboard.com. Images of women as sex objects, derogatory comments towards gays, and other stereotypes are pervasive throughout American culture and not just limited to hip-hop. I don't listen to a lot of country music, but I mean, usually it's over all genres of music, hip-hop, rock, pop, country. There's kind of an undertone that's saying that something's wrong with you if you're gay or it's not right. And that's the media and society working. We've gone over why they aren't treated fairly to this day. Now let's examine what destruction discriminatory behavior causes. The effects of discrimination on homosexuals. An increase in psychiatric disorders amongst the gay population living in the states that instituted bans on same-sex marriage was found. This can be validated on www.mailman.columbia.edu. I feel it's directly linked to unsatisfactory treatment and the stresses of feeling like a second-class citizen. If you're afraid to go out, get beat up or something, it can have like mental, physical, emotional effects on someone. So it feels like you're pretty much trapped in society. Assaults based on sexual activity, homosexual activity, weren't hate crimes until 2009. You can check that out on www.cbsnews.com. That means since the beginning of time, the gay rights movement started in the 50s, but from then until 2009, it was okay to go out and just look for homosexuals and beat them. I've been in a bunch of fights. Y'all probably been in a bunch of fights, but you never went to jail. You got an assault charge, or they just looked the other way. Boys will be boys, that'll happen, but I feel that if you go out specifically to beat up gay people, then I agree with the law mandated now that it's a federal crime. Waiting so long to instate this law made the act of going out to solely beat up homosexuals a simple misdemeanor or assault charge instead of a federal charge. Up until 2009, the gay community more likely to feel like prisoners in their own home. They feared showing affection to loved ones in public because violent acts could occur against them. Gay men, lesbians, bisexuals, and transgender people were potential targets. That can be checked out on www.pbs.org. Hate crimes. According to thinkprogress.org, in 2008, hate crimes because of sexual orientation is the fastest growing of all hate crimes. FBI stats showed an 11% increase, and that's the fastest growing as far as hate crimes, more than race, more than religion, more than anything. So we talked about the trials and tribulations. We've gone over the effects of discrimination. Now let's talk about how to meddle in other people's business. Minding our business when it comes to homosexual activities. Whatever activity consenting adults wish to partake is none of our business. Why should we care? I don't care what you do with your girlfriend. I'm sure y'all don't care what I do with my girlfriend. And I think that it's wrong for people to actually get offended when two men or two women do inside the privacy of their own home. It's none of our business. That's just how I was raised. That's just common sense and common courtesy, I believe. I think it's pretty sad when we start judging people by who they make love to. Maybe we should pay more attention to our own relationships. I figure maybe people are bored, they ain't got nothing to do, so they want to pick on other people, you know, when you should be at home taking care of your woman or your man. Minding our business when it comes to homosexual relationships. If someone wants to get married, who are we to tell them that they can't? Just like the last subject, pretty much mind your own business. I guess in the 50s, it wasn't long ago when interracial marriage was illegal. Myself, I've been stationed in Guam, Germany, England for like the last decade. And if that was still legal, I wouldn't have like no girlfriends. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's fair for someone to say, hey, you're black, she's white. Or people, if you love someone, you want to spend the rest of your life with them, no one should tell you that you can't. You know, you're two consenting adults. A lot of people wouldn't be born in this room maybe if interracial relationships were illegal. Now that you know the hardships that the gay community face, the effects of discrimination against homosexuals, and ways to prevent discrimination, let's review. I try to persuade you to stop discrimination against the gay community and rally for the legal recognition of same-sex marriage, also known as marriage equality, in all 50 states. I've done so by first explaining how the gay community wasn't getting a fair deal. Then I went over explaining the effects of discrimination on homosexuals. And finally, I explained how we should just mind our damn business. So when you go home tonight, please look into the mirror and imagine how it feels to be discriminated against for something that you can't even change. You know, a while back it was African Americans, then it was women, now it's homosexuals being discriminated against. Who's the next group? You know? Will there be a next group? I hope not. Thank you.
8 minutes, 27 seconds.